I haven't really talked about this at all. Well, I haven't. I may have referenced it in some of my live streams, but I haven't actually made a video on this. I'm gonna do it now, especially since I don't have really much else to talk about. So, this is from Kotaku, and it's basically talking about the Nintendo PlayStation. It finally sold for more than $300,000. And it looks like it was like the only one. Well, it's the only one people know about. It's the only one the public knows about. So let me get a little backstory. Let me take my headphones off. I don't need these right now. Sony and Nintendo worked together. They had a partnership back in the 90s for a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo, or Super Famicom in Japan. So that was the PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, or Nintendo Sony PlayStation, whatever. And that didn't pan out. Nintendo went to Philips, Sony's really big, they're really big competitor of Sony. I think it also had to do with like publishing rights. Like Sony was saying like, "Oh, we want like more publishing rights to Nintendo games." Or, well, not exactly like that, but yeah. And I don't think Nintendo liked that. But then they did the unthinkable. One way of putting it. So the console ended up selling for over. It looks like it sold for $360,000. The owner told Kotaku he turned down more than $1 million from a person in Norway who wanted to buy the console. However, on Friday there was only one bid. Why am I holding two fingers up? One bid, up in the price of $300,000. Not sure why it says $360,000, but whatever. So it's talking about former Sony Computer Entertainment CEO Olaf Olafsson, who eventually moved on to another job at Advanta Corporation, and Terry Diebold. They worked at the same place, so the company eventually went out of, they went bankrupt. Everything was well, I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of stuff was auctioned off, and that Nintendo Sony PlayStation prototype was in there. Not sure if they cared about that, or if they forgot, or what. I don't know. I think it was a bigger deal. They would have not let that happen. But it is what it is. So now he's been going convention to convention for several years now to make sales. Yeah, so here's a quote from Heritage on Kotaku. "It's the first time this prototype has ever been offered at public auction before." Heritage Auctions consignment director Valery Miklecki told Polygon back last year, the end of last year. Nintendo and Sony, yes, and then basically it's talking about what I kind of told you guys before. "No one's ever found any games more specifically for the for the Nintendo PlayStation." Yeah, it can play games. I don't know if they're actually there. Maybe somebody could do enough digging around. They could like, oh, here's a game that never released. I was gonna say Super Mario 64. I don't know. I can't. Nothing's come to mind. Super Mario RPG. I know that released on the SNES. I think 1996, the same year I was actually born. So it'd be funny if that came. If it's like, oh, we found a copy of this game for that system. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it sounds like it did play SNES games. And I believe it also played PS1 games. Did it play PS1 games? I thought I heard it did, but yeah. I know it's played SNES games, like, looks like Chrono Trigger and The Legend of Zelda, no, not The Legend of Zelda, but Zelda 2 Adventures of Link. Went for thousands of dollars. And then there's a few other games. So yeah, that is crazy. It'd be kind of cool to own one of these, although I'm not going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a console. Even if it was like the best thing ever, I just wouldn't do it. I might spend around maybe $1,000 on a gaming PC. Well, actually, I probably would just build it. I might pay the money to kind of like get parts, but laptop's a different story. I don't really like messing with those. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of these Nintendo, Sony, PlayStation. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. And without further ado, I have been your host, and I will see you guys next time.